Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that is your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Tonight, guys, we are going over The Wire season 4, episode number 12, and that episode is called That's Got His Own. Okay, across the screen is our the quote of the episode, which is that all there is to it. And what a powerful quote that is. Sorry, I almost lost my train of thought. What a powerful quote that is. I'll talk about that more. I'm pretty sure that when Bubbles said that, he didn't understand what he was talking about and how detrimental that little simple quote was going to be. Okay. The impact of that simple quote. Sorry about that. All right, guys. What's up, Rashonda Greer and Demarcus? How are you guys doing tonight? I will not have my sidekick with me. She's having some technical difficulties, Moochie. So we're going to get through this, guys, and we're going to talk. All right. So first, the episode starts off with Chris and Snoop, and they are chasing after Michael. And the crazy thing about this is I'm pretty sure if I could really go back to 20 years ago when I first watched The Wire, um, and then going back to the previous episode number 11, where they talked about how he stood tall, Michael, how he stood tall with Randy. And there was like, Marlo was telling Chris, like, I heard your pup stood tall with the snitch dude and everything. And then to come, you saw Chris's face. He didn't really say much about it. But then to open up with this scene, a first time watcher would probably think, oh snap, are they going after him because of him standing tall with Randy, this, that, and the third. But no, this is kind of like a training day situation for him, right? They're battle testing this young fella here. So he goes in, right, into the little abandoned warehouse looking place, or whatever this was, an abandoned building, and he hides, and he catches them. He hits them with the lower body shots so that they can get on the floor. This is how Marlo's crew does it. They hit them with the low shots and then they finish them off with the head shots, right? We saw them doing a little hood boot camp, right? And so that's how that went, right? So he hit them both down below, and then he walks up to Chris, and he's like, Chris says, what's next? And he said, I finished you off with a headshot, nice and quick. So even being under Chris's tutelage, he's teaching people, like, there ain't no need to be making folks suffer. Just get it over with, quick and easy. We're not out here torturing folks and stuff like that. Get it over with. You know what I mean? What's up, God King Consciousness? Yes, Michael was definitely made for the streets. Unfortunately, but he was, can't take that away. All right. So also in the next scene, we have Detective J. I'm sorry, not Detective J. He is on the next scene, but we have what's up, Marlon Easton? We have Freeman, and we have there's a picture of Lex's skeleton, right? And Freeman is standing over Lex's body, and there's a guy taking pictures. So now Freeman wants to go and take all the boards off the whole block, and he tells Jay what he wants to do. This is Officer Chubbs. That's what I call him, aka Detective Pepto Bismol and all that good stuff. So he wants to, take off all the things, and Detective J is like, no way, like that's not what's happening here. Like, we don't go looking for bodies, we don't create red, we don't put red on the board, and it's only about 3 weeks left in the year. This is not what we're gonna do, and all of this stuff. And so he's like, you can't do this, and until I say so, or not until I say so, until you hear anything from higher ups, you will not do anything, and that is my command. You are what was that criminal, I'm sorry, what's the unit that they're on? Major crimes, but you're still under CID, right? And I'm still the what is he, the lieutenant or something like that, whatever, but he's a higher ranking officer than he is. So he's like, you better listen to me. All right, so now let's see. King God Consciousness says this scene shows there's politics even within the police department. Absolutely, absolutely. Which is, and it's actually annoying because you don't want to do the right thing. And I thank you for saying that, because you don't want to do the right thing. You rather do the thing, the politic thing, right? And he says, Freeman says, those are Marlon Marlo has all these bodies in here, such, and Jay is saying, well, those are his bodies, let him have it, and it's like, really? So we're not going to try to solve these M's at all, right? Okay. It's just a hot mess, guys. Okay, so next we have, Carcetti. He's in a meeting, and remember, guys, he had found out in last week's episode that there was 54 million, like they are $54 million in debt, and it's from, it has to do with the school system. And so the crazy thing about this scene is that one of the ladies in the meeting says that she's sure that, at the end of all of this, they will find that most of the money was properly spent on programming. Okay. She said that the system has they're spent, they weren't spending the money properly. And they have some poor accounting practices, right? No. She didn't say they weren't spending money. I'm sorry. She said they have poor accounting practices, but you will find that they spent the money properly. But if you rewind, right, and you go back to that scene where I want to say Officer Prez, but Mr. Prez, he goes into that school basement where he finds computers and new edition math notebooks, right? And all this. Meanwhile, the kids were learning off of the old math notebooks. And it was like, really? It was spent properly on good programming? Like where? Because according to Prez's findings, that's not what was going on. Okay. So I think it's very funny how when stuff hits the fan, how people really, first of all, in this meeting, you saw that nobody wanted to take accountability. That's number one. And then she was the only one to speak up and say that stupid crap. I mean, she might as well have just been silent with everybody else and saying, instead of saying that stupid crap that she did right there. That's just my opinion. What's up, Daria? Okay, so let's see what else we have. So we also have Omar, right? And he has been following Cheese, and they see that he's meeting with Marlo, but it's not the drop, he figures, right? Because he didn't get the call or anything. But then he says, but it does make me feel bad towards Prop Joe. And so we're gonna we'll get back to talking about Omar and him following, because he wants to get he wants to come out with he wants to have a big payday, put it that way. Okay. All right. So let me see what God King Consciousness is saying. So this scene connects the developers stole money from the schools. I'm sorry. Hold on. Stole money from the schools, but put longshoremen in jail for wanting more ships in season 2. I like that one. Thank you for the elaboration. All right. So next we also have Herc and Dozerman and Sidner, and they sit and watch Miramar pack up. Pack up and leave. Right. And I think last week I actually mentioned this, and I shouldn't have, because it was for this episode. What happened last week was, after I watched episode 11, I wound up watching episode a little bit of episode 12. Excuse me, guys. Hello. You need to text me. I'm live. What is it? All right, bye. 32. All right, bye. Sorry about that, guys. So this is when I need my friend Moochie, because I'm telling you, I have too many kids to be going live by myself sometimes. So I have to just do the videos. Okay, but I don't even remember what in the world I was talking about. Okay, so yeah, I talked about Herc by mistake. How him and all the other guys, Dozerman and Sidner, were sitting there watching. They were smirking and stuff like that, while Miramar was packing up and everything. You heard some type of grunting and this and that and the third going on, But anyway, it is what it is. I feel like he was getting what he deserves. Okay, but anyway, when he finally leaves, Freeman puts the guys to work. He sends each of them to cover an area while he goes down to the missing persons place, right? He's going down to missing persons. All right. And then of course the target is still Marlo Stansfield, because after 2 or 3 months away, no, they didn't do anything. They didn't get any closer than they were before. Okay. Actually, this guy Miramar wasn't doing anything, just freaking stacking up and sitting on the files. That's all he was doing. Okay. So, another thing about this scene is that Herc feels some type of way because Freeman did make it look like the directions came from him, since he's the what is that? The sergeant or something, right? Man, he needs to go sit down some daggone where. Marlon says that was so satisfying to watch Miramar go. Exactly. I agree. Okay. So next, guys, we have Kennard coming to Naaman and telling him that the package has been stolen. What's up, Renee? At first, guys, I kind of thought that maybe what's the guy's name? Oh, also he has braids now because remember his mom was telling him that he better braid his hair. I think that was last week's episode. She said you better shave it off before I do. So instead of taking off his hair, he put braids in it, right? And then he asked Donut how did he look with the braids, and Donut was like, well, they gonna say now instead of saying that ninja with the ponytail, now they're gonna be like that dude with the braids. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what happens to him. He knows, he can speak by experience, right? But anyway, so basically saying that you're still noticeable, bro. Like you didn't do anything different. Okay, so anyway, like I said, we got Kennard coming to Naaman, telling him that the package got stolen. One thing I will say, I don't know who this little kid is that's playing Kennard, but I'm telling you, we talk about how Michael Rainey Jr. Michael Rainey Jr. has such a good lie face. Like his acting is so good that he knows how to look like he's lying when he's acting. This little boy had the lie face on. Okay, you can tell he was lying to Naaman. All right. And I do want to say that I feel like Naaman didn't really believe him. Like he was looking like something's up with this kid, because he's like, really? How'd they know where you live? And he was like, somebody snitched, and I'm gonna find his day too. This little midget over here talking about something. He gonna find somebody. Anyway, so like I said, I feel like he didn't really believe him. But when he went to go talk to Michael about it, Michael was saying to him, listen, he was asking all these questions about how Kennard's door looked like. Did you see his door? Did it look like it was kicked down and, destroyed, damaged, whatever? And Naaman was like, nah, I sweated him. He ain't tried to scheme me and all of this. But Michael was like, you know what? He took that package for himself. And what you're going to have to do is go see about him and put some action behind them words, because Michael already know this boy talks a good one. You know what I'm saying? Put something real behind those words. Okay, so like I said, I do believe that Naaman is not stupid. He knew that the youngin stole from him. That's what I think. I think he knew the youngin stole from him. But at the end of the day, he knew he wasn't going to do nothing about it. But in front of Michael, he wanted to put up that front and make it seem like, nah, I didn't get got. You know what I mean? I sweated him and all of this and that. All right. So that's that. We're definitely going to get back to that later. But yes, put some action behind those words. Okay. Because you are full of crap. All right, full of crap. Okay, so now Omar tells Butch that he wants Blind Butchie. He wants to. Oh my gosh! If y'all don't stop calling me, I told you I'm live. I did send it. I'm sorry, guys. This is so annoying. It's almost can't. You like literally can't do anything. Like it's ridiculous. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. How freaking embarrassing. Now I'm gonna have to go back into this whole thing and delete this and do a new live and all of that crap. Sorry about that. Okay. I don't even know okay. So yeah, he tells Blind Butchie. Omar tells, thank God for notes, right, guys? Whew, the lives are real, child. Omar tells Blind Butchie that he wants his next move to be more subtle. So what he does is he brings in Kimmy. Remember Kimmy? Of course, you guys remember Kimmy, right? Marlon comes in. He says that Omar wants diversity, yes, and of course, because Butchie is saying you're gonna have to have some soldiers. And remember, so to his left was the dudes that helped him out while he was down in the central booking and stuff like that. So that was that, but he was like, nah, I need something different and all of that. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna get back to that, guys. Let me see where else we have. Okay, so we also have that Prez. Trying to take this out. So we also have that Prez brings schoolwork to Randy's house, right? So clearly is showing us that Randy has not been going to school because of the situation, So there's also a car down the street, and that's as I think who said this, Carver, right? He was saying that they'll have some cops down the street and everything on the block watching the house and stuff like that. So we know that there are some officers on the block, which is, great. Okay, we're gonna get there, guys. It's supposed to be great, but it ain't. I can't wait till we get to this part. Anyway, so then we have back at school, we have Prez tells Miss Donnelly that Dookie isn't ready for high school. And she says, do you and your wife have kids and all that? And he says, no, not yet. And she says, well, you need to have some kids of your own because these kids are not yours. You do what you have to do for them and then you move on. Like basically telling him, don't get too attached to these kids, because she does see that Dookie is someone that Mr. Prez really cares about. She says, I'm noticing he's coming to school. Sometimes he's smelling like soap. He has clean clothes and this, that, and the third. So she's like, get some kids of your own. I mean, I feel like it's a little harsh for her to say that. But at the same time, I do get it because if you want to try to save every child, like there's so many kids that are probably in, the same predicament as Dookie. So it'll probably be like, instead of him really trying to do his job as a teacher, he's going to be, like, I don't know, maybe kind of like a foster parent, right? Instead of doing his job. So I get it, but to me, it seems a little harsh. But what can you do, right? At the end of the day. Okay, so also back in the classrooms, they're still pushing the test for the kids. We have the corner kids class and Mr. Prez class, and they're going over the test and everything. They cannot stand it. But there was a funny scene where in Mr. Prez's class, they were talking about intimacy. And one of the little girls was like, what's that? And he's like, one of them was saying, it's up when you get it on and everything. He said, no, it's not just about that. It's, you're talking and stuff like that. Just giving little examples of intimacy. And then something like if you tickle, he said something about tickle your spouse or something like that. And one of the kids was rude, talking about some tickle these nuts. And the crazy thing is that Prez turned around, he was writing on the board, and he actually was smirking like he was laughing, thought it was kind of funny. And then he had to finish his little, get his little laugh out and then say, all right, that's enough. You know what I mean? But I just like the fact that he's come such a long way, and this job really suits him. Like when he was out there on the streets, being a cop. Well, he wasn't really on the street, but every time he hit the streets, he was the worst cop ever. But he's really talented when it comes to being a teacher. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that was something funny. Okay, so now Freeman goes and he talks to Daniels and Rhonda about the bodies and the vacants, right? And they want to know if any of the missing persons might be linked to Marlo. And Freeman lets them know that Lex was, right, the body that they found, that was Lex. He was linked to Marlo, and so are two other guys that were in the missing persons file. Now Rhonda, she tells Daniels that it's his call, and Daniel says that he'll take it up the chain. Of course, that's Daniels for you, taking it up the daggone chain, right? So he also takes it to Rawls, and Rawls tells him to keep their conversation close. Now, the thing that I like about this conversation between Rawls and Daniels is that Daniels was saying, if we get the bodies out now, it's going to fall back on Royce, right? Instead of if we wait till January. Like, I know it's a little weird because we don't want to put Red up on the board. This is me paraphrasing. We don't want to put Red up on the board, but if we do it now, it'll look like, it's definitely going to fall back on Royce and it'll be on his watch. But if we do it in January, it's going to be on Carcetti's watch. So Rawls knows this is a good idea, right? And at the same time, he knows because of Valchek telling him in last week's episode that they're basically grooming Daniels for the new commander. They're like, he's thinking to himself, we gonna keep this. If I tell him to keep this situation, this little conversation between us, he's definitely, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say it to Carcetti so that it looks like it's my idea. But we'll get there later because he's feeling like Daniels is a threat. But he should listen to Valchek when Valchek says you're not a native, and that's just that. Okay. let's see what else we got, guys. Okay, so Bubs is cooking up a little concoction, right? He cooks up some deadly vials for his street bully. All right, he wants to take him out once and for daggone all. And that's where we get the quote of the episode, that all there is to it. But it's not in this scene, guys. He says this during the time when he's meeting with these guys. It looks like I know there was some type of, I saw a horse. It looked like it was like a barnyard, and they were giving him all kinds of ideas of how to deal with this guy. Now, the only thing the guy said, he said, listen, you could do this. And if the guy is an addict, ain't nobody gonna think twice. They just gonna think that he, OD'd on something, right? It's not gonna look like any foul play or nothing like that. The only thing you would have to worry about is your conscience. And so, look, he was willing to deal with it. He's like, okay, I can live with that, because this guy is messing up my stuff, my livelihood. Okay. Yes. Them hot shots. Okay. Messing up my livelihood. So he said, I can't do that anymore. Okay. So then next, guys, we have Mr. Prez, and he's telling Dookie that he can always come back to the school, come back to the school and drop off his laundry and take a shower if he wants to and everything. And, it's kind of like the little farewell. And then Dookie is also trying to show him how to use a computer. And, Perez is like, that's not necessary. But Dookie's like, yeah, well, I'm just going to show you in case I'm not around. So he has to just kind of allow him to so-called teach him something, which he already knows. But, it's really sad, guys. It's sad. That's all. I know for a fact it's a sad thing. Dookie is not ready to go to high school. Okay, so after this, we have Dookie going home, and he sees his parents, his family. They have been evicted again, right? According to Dookie's reaction, he says again. So Michael tells him that him and Bugs, right? Him and Bug, they have their own spot, and that he could be, he could live with them, come stay with them for a little while. As I don't think it was a little while, just for as long as he needs, right? Just come stay with us, because Michael's gonna definitely look out for Dookie. That's one thing that I do love about Michael, that he has a good heart. He may be made for the streets, but he has a good heart. And some people that are made for the streets, or they do better in the streets, some of them do have good hearts. All right. So next, guys, we have Naaman telling his mother that Kennard took his package. All right. He stole his package, right? And she tells him that he has to feel some pain for this, right? Kennard got to feel some pain for what he did, right? But Naaman only wants to talk to him. And he's like, no, but I don't want to. And she said, you don't want to what? Mother effer, or something like that, she said, right? And so she says that she said, wait till your father hear about this or whatever. So he says something about, about where he is. Like, you're going to tell him what I did while he did what he did, and basically that's where he is, along those lines, right? So she smacked the crap out of him, smacked fire out of him, right? And she said, look at you crying now. I was like, she's horrible, guys. Even though you just witnessed me kind of like yelling at my sons when they was calling me because they interrupted me after I just told them that I was on live. Yo, it makes me want to hug them. The way she treats him, it makes me want to go hug my sons, because it's just so disgusting. Like, how could you treat your child like this? How could you, send them out into the street where, and these are the streets of Baltimore. It's like, just, one of the, and then look, I'm from Brooklyn. Like, that's like me sending my kids out, like, fend for yourself, like are you kidding me? I just could not. Like, I mean, yeah. Delonda is horrible. You were absolutely right, Marlon. Oh, thank you, Renee. Said you didn't sound nothing like her. I want it one way. What are you what are you talking about? Okay, so yeah, but she was horrible, and she, what she said? She said, you out here wearing his name, acting like a bee. You acting a bee. I was like, oh my gosh, she's just so terrible with him. And this is the reason why when you guys started asking Do I believe if he was coddled? No, I don't think so. Look how harsh she is to him. Yes, I made sure you was in Nike since the day you was born and all of this and that. But that's not, she doesn't protect him. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't protect him. And she daggone sure don't baby him. So, yeah, nah, there's definitely no coddling here, in my opinion. Absolutely not. All right, guys. Okay, so next we have Freeman, Bunk, and McNulty, and they're drinking. You know what they do? They drink and they talk about their jobs. And they're at the bar and they're talking about the bodies and the vacants that they can't do anything about, right? So of course McNulty tells them to go over Detective Jay's head, and they both tell him that it ain't right. When I say they, obviously I'm talking about Bunk and Freeman. They're like, it's not right, to go over their heads. But at the same time, it does kind of seem like Freeman been there and done that a little bit. I mean, I don't think he was going over his head. I think he was just kind of reporting back to what's his name? He was reporting back to Daniels about what was going on, but he didn't mention and say, Jay said not to do it, whatever. He just kind of let them know what's going on. But in a way, it's a little bit of a thin line, I guess, if you want to say. But it is what it is. So, like I said, he said it's not right. We can't do that. We gotta stick to the right thing to do, right? But one thing I like about the scene, the reason why I definitely wanted to talk about this scene, is that I like the change of tune in Lester, right? Where he compared to the beginning of this season, his tune definitely changed, right? In the first or second episode, he said that he used to be proud of chasing them Barksdale boys, right? But not Marlo. He's like, this Marlo guy, he ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But in this scene, he says, I'm proud to be chasing Marlo Stansfield, because, he's impressed that he hid the bodies right under their noses. He said he made a mausoleum in the freaking neighborhood, guys, right? So after this, they make a bet, right? He said, I will bet you right now we could go to any vacant and find a body. I will bet you $20 freaking dollars. Okay. And so listen, guys, they went. They definitely went. And they found the body. And the body, the body wasn't a skeleton or nothing like that. He was kind of fresh. So, they've been putting in so much work. I know I'm kind of jumping, but they've been putting in so much daggone work. Oh gosh. In this because I was expecting when if they dug up a body, we were gonna find the folks that we know about. They was finding people that we didn't even know. But anyway, like I said, I didn't mean to jump ahead. All right, so now we have Michael who goes with Naaman, because Naaman asks him, can you go with me to talk to him and make sure things don't get out of hand? And Michael looking at him side down like, daggone well ain't nothing gonna get out of hand, because you is not about it, right? So anyway, Michael, Naaman steps to Kennard, right? But Kennard starts getting disrespectful. Like he said, where's my package, right? Naaman was like, where's my package? He says, up my A, Gump. Package up my A. And, it was just disrespectful. And it was just too many words for Michael. So he had to put the beats on freaking Kennard. He had to put the beats on him, guys. Look, while I was watching this episode, my kids were coming in because they were about to leave, and they came in. They never watched The Wire before, but they came in on this scene, and they were watching Michael beating Kennard, and it was like, he beating up a little kid. What is going on? I said, child, y'all don't understand. Okay, this little boy deserves it. You understand me? Deserves. So Michael tells Naaman, pick up this, just go ahead, pick up get your package off this beat. He's like, I don't want it. I didn't want it anyway. Acting like a little scaredy cat. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Acting like he's shocked and all that. So maybe that's what y'all was talking about a little bit with the whole thing with the coddle part, because he acting like he just shocked. So, Michael was looking at him like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, this guy is really soft. Okay. Mike went to work on that day. Yes, on that boy. Yes, he definitely did. Okay. So let's see where we're at now. All right, guys. So unfortunately, guys, Sherrod finds, I'm sorry, not Sherrod. Yeah, no, Sherrod. He finds Bub's little lethal vials, his hot shots, his deadly concoctions. He finds it. And man, oh man, because the crazy thing is when Bubs came home, Sherrod was sleeping. So that means that he woke up looking through this guy's jacket. Man, like, why couldn't he find the bully first and let the bully get it? Like, why did Sherrod have to get it and not the bully? I don't want Sherrod to die, but at least if he did, let it not have been for nothing. Like, let at least the guy, like the bully, let him have got some too. You know what I'm saying? Because this is insane. So I wasn't feeling that, guys. Like, this is all sad. But another thing is, I think he was kind of when he came home, I think Sherrod had like made $7. So your boy got ripped the freak off that day when he let him go off to do his own thing, child. He got ripped off. Came home with $7. All right, but yeah, very sad. And but Bubs really looked at this kid. I feel like he looked at him as a son. So this was sad to see him crying over him like that and stuff. So yeah, it was a really sad scene. All right, guys. So and I think the actor, what's his name? I think his name is Andre Royal. He did a good job with the acting and when he was crying and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really sad to see that. All right. And the fact that Sherrod came home, you know what I mean? It was not to say there was going to be some great stuff going on. Bubs didn't really have nothing to offer. You know what I'm saying? But still, it was better than him being on the streets. All right. And if he would have got back to school, that probably would have been something to help him out as well. But anyway, so guys, next we have IID comes to major crimes to pick up Herc, Dozerman, and Sidner. But Herc finally takes accountability. I think this might have been the only freaking thing that I liked about Herc, what he did, the fact that he took accountability, because he knows daggone well this whole thing with the camera and all of this, it was his fault. So I do appreciate him taking accountability, not letting his boys go down with him. So that was good. Okay. Yes, support game Amuchi's not here tonight. She's having technical difficulties. All right. So next we have Rawls, right? And he goes to Carcetti, like I told you about the bodies and the vacants, and Carcetti tells him to get the bodies out, right? First, Rawls tries to, tell Carcetti, oh, maybe if we get them now, it won't be on you. It'll be on Royce instead of waiting. Like, he basically spit the same thing that Daniel spit to him. He spit it to Carcetti. And Carcetti was like, oh, well, that's very thoughtful of you, Like, basically kind of made him feel kind of stupid. But then he was like, but I would like you to get them out of here before January, though, So get them now. Do it now, right? So they get the order that they are going to go after the bodies and the vacants. Okay, guys? So that is a good thing. All right. So then we have Daniels, who tells Freeman to open up the vacants. All right. But he needs more manpower. You got to get more manpower. And they also were saying that they needed Herc, because Herc is pretty much out. But later on, I think during this time when Lester tells not Lester, when Daniels tells Lester that he needs more manpower, I think that's when they brought up Herc, if my memory is serving me correctly. And he was like, Daniels was like, I don't understand what's going on, because I thought I went pretty light on him with this. And one of them was saying that they think it's a different jacket, or something, like as if somebody snitched on him. So I'm wondering if Miramar kind of like had something to do with, like, try to snitch on Herc or something like that and get him in trouble before he was on his way out the door. You know what I mean? Probably so. All right, guys. So let's move on. So we have Naaman. And let's see. So he is out. Listen, he comes to the gym starting trouble. All right. And he trying to act like he about it. So he over there talking to Mike. And, you want to basically asking if he want to spar with him and everything. And Michael straight ignores him. All right. And so he decides to start trouble with Dookie. You want to, what about you, Duke? You want to bump? Dookie's like, nah, I'm gonna work these ropes and all that stuff. He said, yeah, you working them ropes like a gump. Actually gonna use the same name This was a little funny to me, especially that little look that we turned around and looked back at Michael after he said that. Yeah, you working them ropes like a gump. Gonna turn around like, why are you trying to act like you about it? You're not. And Michael knows you're not. Exactly, Renee. He lost all respect. Michael knows you ain't about it, and he ain't got no words for you. I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't think I would get down like I'm a female, so I don't think I would. Obviously, Michael, he's a guy. I wouldn't get down like him as far as like ignoring uh Naaman as if he did something to me. I don't know, guys. I just wouldn't, but I wouldn't really, I would just not take him seriously. Like I would take it for what it is. This is a little he a chump, and that's just that. And don't call me for nothing else. That would just be that. I wouldn't like ignore him or whatever, or not talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so like I said, he's calling him names and everything, and then he starts telling him you dookie smelling, all of this stuff. And Michael just grabs him up and kind of like pushes him up against the wall and starts slapping him up. Like the way he slapped him, it just showed like, I don't even need to punch you. You be a ninja. All right. I'm going to slap you around like a little bee. You a B-I-B-I. And that's what I'm going to do. Right. And so he done got slapped by his mama, slapped by freaking Michael. And then he go and sit and just cry. I mean, it's sad. Like I feel a little sad for Naaman. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't appreciate him coming and taking his anger out on Dookie. My thing is, if you know that you showed yourself looking all scared and stupid at the during that time when he put the beats on Kennard, when Michael put the beats on Kennard, why are you gonna show up at the gym trying to act like you about it? It just doesn't make any sense to me, guys. That right there, I just wouldn't play myself. It's stupid. All right. Fun fact: the actors who played Naaman and Dookie really didn't like each other at first, for real. Oh, okay. Fun fact: I heard that Tristan Wilds and the actor that played Dookie are cousins. That's what I heard. All right. Renee says getting slapped is the most disrespectful thing you can do to a man. Exactly. And that's exactly why I think Michael did it. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time punching on you. And the crazy thing is, the irony is that he used his fist on little man Kennard, because Kennard, I wouldn't, I would say he got more heart, but honestly, right now Kennard is just is a little kid with a lot of mouth right now, right? Little kid with a lot of mouth, but at the same time, I'm not gonna say nothing, but we already know, right? He definitely more about it than this dude right here. Oh freaking I was gonna say Marlon. I'm sorry, Marlon. I see your name. So every time I see your name last, it's the last thing in my head. Oh, Naaman. All right. So now, guys, we have Omar, who receives the page for the drop. And so he goes to work. Okay. He goes to work with his crew. And I like that when the Spanish crew pulls up, they're like, oh, we're the painters and all of that stuff, right? But then when it was time to like show what it was, because Kimmy then came around acting like she was a little crackhead and stuff. So when they show what it was, like, this is a stick up, okay? And that, right? So they was like, see, we paint, right? We won't, if we spray, that's the paint. But I thought that was a little cute little quote. See, we paint. All right. But guys, we find out later that they took the whole freaking shipment. It wasn't about no taking no package. They took the whole daggone shipment. Okay. Next, we have Carver. I'm sorry, not Carver. Naaman tells Carver and Cuddy that he can't go home. All right. And we also have Cuddy, who feels bad about shutting Michael out. So he wants to go find him and talk to him, because when he had to stop Michael from, continuing to slap Naaman around, pow, 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 pimp slapping him, right? And he was like, get out of here. Nobody wants you around here anyway. It's probably a little anger coming out, because he's been so patient with Michael and he can never get through to him. So that's probably why he was saying all that stuff, because I'm like, why are you saying all of that? He probably tired of the kid. Like, well, I'm gonna try to get through to this kid and let him come around, and he always give me the cold shoulder and everything, So that was that, guys. But he finds out can't. He can't go home, right? This is his name, and telling folks he can't go home. If you going to do it right. Take it all. I guess so. Omar pulls the ultimate double cross off. Yes, he does, guys. All right. So now we have Carver, right? So they're still dealing with this whole situation with Naaman, and Carver is telling what's this guy Colvin that he spoke to the mom, like that mom is a piece of work, right? And Colvin's like, yeah, lovely lady, you know. So he's like, you know what she freaking told me? She said, put that B in baby booking so he can learn some, right? So basically Delonda don't like, I mean, there ain't no secret that she's just a horrible, terrible mother. Put that B in baby booking so he could learn something. Not even knowing, like he said, she hung up before I could tell her that there was no charge. You know, we didn't even have nothing. We just kind of trying to call you to let you know that there's some things going on with your son. She don't give a tag on. She doesn't care, okay? Like I said, the type of mother that make you want to just hug your children, all right? So anyway, next, guys, this is what I was talking about with this scene, where how when Prez comes to the house and he looks down the street, he sees the cops parked out outside. So we get this guy who's calling. He's on the payphone and he says, "Oh, they beating up this cop real bad over on such and such street, right between whatever." So the dudes that are supposed to be watching Randy's house decide that means that they're supposed to go and run to this place, run to this street and see what's what. And you know, obviously this is a false, you know, it's a false report, it's a false call. But it pisses me off because look, I'm not a police officer, but if I'm on duty for a specific watch, I'm supposed to be watching a specific house, or you know, I'm on a specific assignment. Am I supposed to leave my post to go see about some other stuff, or am I supposed to leave that up to the listen? If you're a cop and you know, let me know, because I'm like, what are you leaving your post for? It was just irking to me. It was just like, okay, like y'all don't got nothing. Y'all don't have no other cops around. Like in a city like this, you should have like cops that are like in close, you know what I'm saying, close vicinity. Like I just don't understand this. It was just annoying to me, guys. More for real. What's up, Oliver Spartan? Nothing good happens on Peasy and Gold. The street, the boy said. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Yes. They went to serve justice the Western way. It was declared war, remember? Oh, okay, right. So basically you still saying that they was doing what they wasn't supposed to be doing, though, right? If is that what it is? Because I feel like they did what they were not supposed to be doing. They bored with their job. They bored sitting there. It's a quiet night, this and that and third. But now look what happened. You know, they freaking threw a daggone Molotov cocktail, if I'm saying it right, in Randy's window. It's a daggone shame, guys. All right, guys. So next we have Cheese, who tells Prop Joe that Omar took the whole shipment and they need to get back at that F word and all of this. But Prop Joe tells him that the co-op is gonna have to take them at their word, right? They're gonna have to take them they're gonna have to take us at our word first, because you know they're gonna wonder about us. You know, that's what they're gonna be wondering about us. So they got to take us out our words. Basically, you know, we have to convince them, whatever. All right, so that's that, guys. We'll definitely see how this whole thing is gonna play out, because yeah, if you're someone that is in charge of the shipment and something goes wrong, they are gonna look at you like, I thought you had this in the bag. So that's not good for him, right? But we'll get there. Like I don't know if we get there in this episode, but we'll get there soon enough. Okay. So now I wanted to get a better picture, but guys, this is all I have. So when Cuddy finally finds Michael, he's on the corner with the rest of Marlowe's crew, right? Not the whole rest of them, but him being a part of the crew, he was with the other ones. All right. And so Unfortunately, dudes ain't never minding their business, especially if it's a gang situation. Like if you go and talk to one dude on the corner and he's a part of a crew or a part of a gang, nobody is minding their business. And so Michael is saying, Cuddy is trying to talk to Michael, and he's saying, come on, son, this is, this is not for you, and all of this. And see how my sons, they know that I'm live, but they still gonna come in the door making all this noise. I said that I am live. I told your brother that. You guys are just a lot sometimes. Anywho, so just shut up, Zamir. So rude. Watch when I get off. I don't care how old you are. Anyway, stop. Anyway, guys. I don't even know where I'm at. These kids, I'm telling you guys, these kids have like been all up in my life tonight. Oh my gosh. Like I said, if you were Cuddy was trying to talk to Michael, trying to tell him, this is not you, whatever. He tried to like touch his shoulder. He was like, don't touch me or whatever. So then Monk gets in, like the boy said, don't touch him, this and that. And he was like, Cuddy said, if I was talking to you, you would know it, son. And I'm just like, Cuddy, for my thing is, you somebody that was like a hitman, you was a hard dude back in the day too, right? Why would you come pressing, right? Why would you get Marlon? I do, right? Right now I do one in one way. I ain't gonna lie. I do. Okay. Why would you come pressing these guys knowing how they are? These young dudes where stuff ain't the same. You even seen how it was when you first got out in the whole fruit situation, right? You see these kids don't play the same. The game is not the same. The players are not the same, right? So how would you and why would you come up to these kids and first of all, you're not strapped or anything? Like, just why? I just don't get it. But listen, he's brave. He a brave heart dude, right? And that's just that. I can't even say nothing about it, but you know what happens, guys. After he told Monk to basically mind his business, what did he do? He shot him. This is how Marlo and them people do. They shoot the dudes down below and then get ready to finish him off with the headshot. So this is it, guys. He was about to finish my guy off, but Michael stepped in and says, nah. So they all left. Michael kneels down. He said, I'll stay with you until the ambulance comes. And he said, it's okay, son. Go with your boys, go with your people or whatever. So he has to leave because that was another thing. Like, he still was protecting Michael. Like, if he stays here, he knows that he's gonna have to answer for this and stuff like that. Michael ain't gonna say anything, but he just don't want him to be involved in it at all. So that's just that, guys. But Cuddy's a good guy. All right, guys. So we also have let me make sure I got the right. Okay, so Carver, he gets to the hospital, and when he gets there, he sees on the board that Miss Anna, as she looks like she's in, it says critical/stable condition, but she also has 2nd and 3rd degree burns, guys. So she is in the hospital and she got damaged most. All right. And then when we get to Randy, we see him and he's just kind of sitting there. And then Randy, Carver tells Randy that he's going to talk to social services for him. He's going to help him out. I'm going to look out for you, this and that. And, Randy wasn't buying it. Like, he tried to touch Randy, and Randy just like, get off me. Because he's not buying anything. As far as he's concerned, Carver dropped the ball from the gate, guys. Right? When he gave this assignment over to Herc and Herc just let everything go haywire, look what happened to this kid's life because Carver passed the ball. And he should have took it on himself. If anything, he should have really took it straight to Bunk. But he was trying to throw Herc a bone, because they was old partners and stuff like that. But it don't matter. If your guy is lazy, first of all, talking about Herc, like Carver, if your guy is lazy and he's a natural screw up, don't try to throw him a bone, especially not with this fragile situation. I just didn't think that it was good thinking. It was just terrible. It just wasn't good. Yeah, sorry guys. All right, so as he's leaving, he walks away. Carver's walking away. And Randy, he's got that soft voice. Doesn't even seem like he can yell. His voice is so soft. You gonna look out for me? You gonna look out for me? You promise? You know? And yeah, it really was, Marlon. It was a haunting. His voice is like a really, like, it's very soft, but it is haunting. And I think that for Carver to hear him say those words, like, you promise, you promise, what was he calling him, Officer Carver or Sergeant Carver? um but regardless of what, it really was haunting, because that's something that he has to live with. Like, whatever goes on with this kid, if he's ruined, then I failed, and it's on me. And one thing I do like about, and I don't like, I love about this season, is that we see the relationship between the cops and the kids. And we did see a little something where you got, they had some relation, like the younger ones, they had more, seemed like they had more of a little rapport with. Like, we always saw they had something going with Bodie and like McNulty. Was it McNulty? Who was it? It was always Carver and I think Herc, and then with Bodie, right? They always had something with the younger kids. Not to say it was always a good thing, but after a while they did. They had a little. I know Bodie, right? That's how it was with Carver and Herc. Like, we know Bodie, you know what I'm saying? But now in this season, like, these cops are getting attached to these kids. Like, you got Colvin attached to Naaman, and Carver really caring for Randy, and who else? I think McNulty with Bodie. Remember, we had them, they were eating together at the little restaurant, the fast food place and stuff. And so it was different. It was a different view of things, and I really appreciate what they did with this season, guys. But that was how the episode ended, and I would love to uh try to come back on. I guess on Sunday we're going to talk about episode number 13, the finale. But I wanted to kind of talk about it before then, but we probably won't be able to do it, guys. But anyway, guys, I thank you so much for being here. Carver developed into real police. Everybody was getting schooled one way or another. Yep, exactly. Okay. Oh, so Chris and Mike. Okay, yeah. So if you want to take it from just the street, just the street part of it, yes, it was Chris and Mike. Yes, absolutely, yes. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it, for rocking out with me. I didn't have my girl here, but I still enjoyed talking to you guys, and I still enjoyed going over this episode because it was really, really good. I just want to get our Oliver's comment real quick. Crazy how the girl accusing them led to all of this. Yes. Ain't that something? Absolutely. You guys be blessed and take care. And I'm sorry once again for all the interruptions. I apologize. I'm probably going to go through this video and re-upload it. So if you see it, don't worry, you already watched it. All right. I just want to clean it up a little bit. You guys take care and be blessed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.